Alright guys, today I will be bringing a video slightly different than usual because rather than making a video about stuff related to Asphalt Legends, today I will be talking about a small detail I have seen while watching the Asphalt 20th anniversary trailer, and since I am aware that this is a topic many of you guys are certainly interested about, today we will be looking at the future and what it might bring to all of us in regards to the Asphalt Saga. So with nothing else to add, let's dive into it. You know what, every single time I think about the Asphalt Saga, I can't stop but thinking about the present, about the current situation of all the Asphalt games present on today's stores for everyone to play and enjoy. You know, most of the Asphalt games up to Asphalt 7 are either discontinued, this means that it's no longer possible to play those, and if you want to play any of those old Asphalt games, you either have to do some serious archaeological tier exploration within the depths of the lost media archives around the internet or just give up. However, I am aware that there are some people who got their ways of playing the old Asphalt games, but the truth is that for most of us mortals, any Asphalt games released before Asphalt 8 is no longer accessible. But then we have Asphalt 8, which is still, up to this day, the oldest Asphalt game with online multiplayer, whose servers are still up and running. Well, you know, most of the time, because sometimes the servers just die and you have to wait until they get fixed again. But you know what, Asphalt 8 is also the first Asphalt game to be heavily monetized with insane amounts of microtransactions, which through the years players have purchased it on different levels of spending, meaning that in many cases people have spent thousands of dollars into their Asphalt 8 accounts, and in a way I think that's by itself one of the reasons why Gameloft hasn't closed the Asphalt 8 server so far, like they have done with other games like Asphalt Extreme, which I am aware it's still available on Netflix Games, or Asphalt Street Storm. The truth is that up to these days there are like 60,000 recurrent players still playing Asphalt 8 on your average month, despite that amount doesn't seem like it will increase within the upcoming years though. So yeah, there are people playing and spending something into Asphalt 8, and that might be the reason of why it's still alive and with working servers these days. However, there is a far different case when it comes to Asphalt 9 / Asphalt Legends Unite / Asphalt Legends, as we like to call it today. If there is something where the latest game of the Asphalt Saga is significantly better, well, in a way that the previous Asphalt 8 is on the amount of money it gets and requests to its players. Because while Asphalt 8 has its ups and downs when it came to pricing through the years, Asphalt Legends maintain a substantially higher cost per item through the entire game and through its entire history. Let's just not get into every single example, but I think it's quite clear that Asphalt Legends takes more money to be enjoyed when you see that it has 4 different time-limited passes: a multiplayer pass, a time-limited events pass, an overclock pass, and then the monthly Legends pass, which now has an even quote-unquote better version for those willing to pay the price, which is called the Ultimate Pass, available for $50. So yeah, even if you don't play Asphalt Legends, I hope you can believe how extremely expensive this game is compared to its predecessor, which is what leads up to the final point. There has never been a game as expensive for the players and profitable for Gameloft as Asphalt Legends, at least within the Asphalt Saga, and Asphalt 8 still has at least one more year of updates, which means they are extremely unlikely of closing that game anytime soon. Which means that Asphalt Legends, given how it has been structured through the years in a way that is a money printing machine in the eyes of Gameloft, it's said to be the last Asphalt game of the entire saga for a really long time ahead. However, I can't stop thinking about what I have seen on the 20th Asphalt anniversary trailer. What I am talking about? Well, you know, once you are close to finishing this video, the trailer video, you see like this kind of beam pushing upwards all the way up to the night sky, and there are several dots, one representing Asphalt Unite with the logo, another one being basically Asphalt Legends, but then there is like this kind of green light explosion which lasts for several seconds, and I think it definitely means something, because it even has its own sound. Let's get real, guys. A real company did this, and inside of Gameloft someone saw this video and said, "It's fine, go ahead, post it." So I truly doubt it's an error or a mistake. This has to mean something which we certainly don't know yet. I legit don't know up to what point it makes sense for Gameloft to release a brand new game with better graphics than Asphalt Legends already has, for example, as well as I find it hard to believe that people who have spent way more on Asphalt Legends than they had on Asphalt 8 will easily move into a new game with either the same or worse graphics as Asphalt Legends, leaving aside the fact that the game progression doesn't get moved between games, because since Asphalt Legends Unite was a rebrand of the old Asphalt 9 Legends, we could keep using the cards we already had in Asphalt 9 Legends. However, we obviously didn't get to keep on Asphalt 9 the cards we had on Asphalt 8. So let's just say that for a random reason I end up being right, the blink on the Asphalt 20th anniversary trailer ends up being an actual hint, and a theoretical Asphalt 10 or just a brand new Asphalt spin-off is on the works right as we speak right now. I am aware that many people, which in a solid 80% of the cases I could have dealt with, do not have a huge game progression on Asphalt Legends right now, will be quite happy of having a brand new game where everyone would start from zero at the same time. However, many people who have spent money into Asphalt 9/Asphalt Legends will not be happy of seeing the progress they have made through the years disappear at some point in the future. And don't get me wrong guys, no game is guaranteed an eternal life, but we all can agree that if there isn't any other Asphalt game, Asphalt Legends will last longer than if there is a new title within the Asphalt franchise. One way or another, right now I do truly believe that the Gameloft developers are preparing something in regards to the Asphalt Saga, but one side of me thinks a new Asphalt game will be far too risky, because what if people decide to stick to Asphalt Legends instead of the new game, which would make fair sense. Well, it's hard to predict, but who knows, maybe on the ending of the Asphalt 20th anniversary trailer, they were just referring to how Asphalt Legends is the ultimate Asphalt shape and they are just focused on keep raising it to the sky and beyond. Either way, now it's your turn guys. Which are your thoughts in regards to the blink, and how likely do you think it's a brand new Asphalt game to arrive in the future? Make sure to drop your like, subscribe in order to not to miss absolutely anything about Asphalt Legends, and I will see you really soon as usual with a brand new video. Goodbye guys.